Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow.
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. We've got our Texas versus Alabama pregame show. Got Logan in the building. Say what's up, bud.
Man, how y'all doing? Can't wait for this week. Also, can't wait for it to be over. That way, it can be the weekend, man. I'm just excited.
I agree.
I'm ready to see these big matchups this week.
It's gonna be fun. College game day heading down to Tuscaloosa as the number 11 Texas Longhorns are traveling to take on the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide. It's an instant classic, right? Because of last season, the way it all played out. Texas, Quinn Ewers gets hurt after he's balling in the first quarter. Quinn Ewers gets hurt. Hudson Card comes in, manages the game well, almost pulls out the upset.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they had Bryce Young. They had a Heisman quarterback that made a Heisman move when Ryan Watts was coming off free blitzer off the edge. And Bryce Young made a miss, scrambles for like 17 yards, sets up the game-winning field goal, and that's all she wrote. But this year, we have to travel to Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's going to be a hostile environment for Longhorns fans. Jealous I don't get to go. I'm going to be honest. There's not that I wouldn't want to go to away games. I don't like traveling that much. But out of all the away stadiums that I could go to, Bryant-Denny Stadium is definitely on that list that I would want to visit. I feel like that's going to be an electric atmosphere. And these guys better come prepared because Bama, Nick Saban don't like the idea of losing to his former assistant coaches.
Oh, no.
So
he doesn't like that.
We're going to have to bring it. I'm looking at the stats. I've got them pulled up right now. I'm going to run through some and then I want you to give us your breakdown on what you think Texas is going to have to do this weekend. Jalen Milroe against Middle Tennessee State, 13 of 18, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns. I wouldn't say that's overly impressive. I handled business, but nothing right. Rushing, Jalen Milroe, 7 for 48, 2 touchdowns. If that was against a better opponent, I'd say, hey, 7 for 48 and 2 touchdowns are pretty nice. Against Middle Tennessee State, I'm honestly not thinking that that's anything super special. Their running back, McClellan, 10 for 39, 1 touchdown. Once again, this is against Middle Tennessee State. This isn't against Georgia or LSU. This is Middle Tennessee State.
Yep.
The common occurrence of what I'm trying to say is statistically, like if you just look at the score, yeah, Alabama, I mean, they curb stomped them 56-7. But when you look at the stats, it's telling a little bit of a different story. And I only see one interception and 1 fumble recovery. So they got a little bit of help on defense with that. So what do you think, based on these stats against Middle Tennessee State, how do you think our defense kind of stands toe-to-toe with this Alabama offense?
Stop Jalen Milroe. That's all you got to do. I mean, looking at the stats anyways, I mean, he had 5 total touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only other people to get rushing touchdowns was Jace McClellan, who, again, averaged 3.9 yards per carry against Middle Tennessee State. Yep. Ty Simpson, 2 carries, 12 yards, and that 1 touchdown that he had was the 11 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyler Buckner was 1 carry for 9 yards, 1 touchdown. He also threw the ball 3 for 5, 27 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. To me, it just sounds like you stopped Jalen Milroe. His number 1 option for that game was Isaiah Bond, 5 catches, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Jermaine Burton is a pretty good receiver, so I would watch out for him. Jalen Hill is going to be really good. Maybe not this year, but he's going to be good. He's out of Longview. He's a freshman.
He's a freshman. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we were just recruiting that name.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to show him he went to the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would be worried about is Jalen Milroe, and I'm not too impressed by him personally yet. And Nick Saban.
Yeah, and
Those are the things
that's
I'm
the
worried
key.
about.
It's Nick Saban. You know,
Just
his
take Hill Mountain
ability
to
to
be fine.
scheme and adjustment. Yeah, well, yeah, Jalen Milroe. We got to see a glimpse of him last year against A&M. We were not impressed with that at all. In this game, it seems like they let him start, and the reason I don't know is if he finishes the year as a starter is because of how weary Nick Saban was of even naming a starter, and really let all three of them play. Although he didn't really let them play much, even though they were winning by a ton. But when you look at the rushing stats, and 4 of your 5 touchdowns running the ball were from quarterbacks, I think you're right. If you stop the quarterback, if we have Jalen Milroe in the first half, might not even take the whole first half. If we have him having a rough day in the first quarter or so, we might see Buckner or Simpson come in early.
Yeah, I don't.
Which
Watching
I don't
Buckner
know.
at Notre Dame last year, I was not impressed by him at all. I mean,
Yeah.
he carried his team to a great loss to Marshall and a couple of other teams. He didn't play great last year. I mean, he
Well,
got
I want to say one of the assistant coaches from Notre Dame came out, maybe like an offensive coordinator or something, came in to be an assistant coach at Bama, and that's why he transferred there. Is just because they knew what they were getting from him. They didn't know what they had at the quarterback position between Milroe and Simpson, so they were bringing in something where they're like, all right, at least we know we have this.
yeah.
You know, this our floor is now here. There's no telling what the ceiling is.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I'm not necessarily impressed at Milroe's arm.
right.
Now his legs, that's a different story. But Tyler Buckner doesn't impress me. He doesn't scare me. I'll say that he doesn't scare me. I feel like if you just get into Milroe's face and get that pass rush that you did not get necessarily against Rice, I
Mm-hmm.
think that it'll be an easier defensive game than what it was last year.
Yeah. Last year, this was defense was the story.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I think most Texas fans truly believe if Quinn's still in that game, we win it by 10 points. I mean, our offense was able to move and then they weren't. Um, I'd say Texas is gonna have to run the ball well. We're gonna have to be able to mix up our play calling. You know, we can't be predictable.
Yeah.
Third down has to be better. We were just absolutely terrible on third down last week. See if I can pull up the 6 of 15 on third down. And I think that's because we started doing better later. I want to say we were like 1 for 7, and then we went 5 of 8 or whatever for the rest of the game. Um, that first half was pretty bad against Rice. We did clean it up in the second half, and that's why I have hope. Because it really seems like we just came out swinging, but we didn't have an opponent yet. You know, just kind of. You ever seen them people blindfold fight, and one's facing this way, one's facing that way, they're swinging as hard as they can. They ain't doing nothing. I felt like that's what we were doing. We took the blindfold off in the second half. Quinn went on to lead our offense 3 straight
Had to hit him with that
touchdowns.
360.
Right. Oh, I love that play. Have you seen that play? Did you see it where Quinn kind of like rolls out, fakes it, and then just flips around 180? And it was actually Brooks's touchdown catch. It was a 37-yard touchdown. You need to go watch that. They ran that play last year and it worked in. So we'll see what they break out for this game. I'm actually surprised they ran it against Rice. It
Yeah.
seems more like a keep it vanilla, but it's an instant classic. We're looking forward to the game. It's a 6:00 game, so that's great that we'll hopefully be off work and be home in time to catch the start of that one. But with that being said, I really don't. I think we've covered most of the really big talking points. What are you thinking?
Right now, I'm just worried about Quinn's health, just because Dallas Turner is still there. Um,
Yeah,
Everybody knows, or most people know, that's who got Quinn hurt whenever he pretty much power drove him into the ground. And then later that year, turn around and almost ripped Jackson
quarterback
Dart's
for Ole Miss. Yeah,
helmet off, or he ripped it off. He almost broke his neck, basically, and
yeah.
that's a
Oh my
very
goodness.
graphic video. One thing is that Kool-Aid McKinstry is still at Alabama. I think that he's overhyped. I mean, he has really good games, but there's a lot of times where I feel like he gets burnt a lot. Kind of reminds me of like a Trayvon Diggs kind of thing. Like, yeah, he'll get interceptions here and there, but then there's more times than not he's getting burnt. Or he might be just trying to bait the quarterback, whatever. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Other than that, off the top of my head, I don't see too many big names that I recognize. As far as returners, Jeremiah Alexander sounds familiar, but that's a freshman.
Yeah, it's definitely a different roster for Bama. They've lost a
Yeah.
lot in the last season. I think they're one of the in the bottom one or bottom 30 of returning production as far as their team goes, or at least their offense. So
Yeah.
it's a different team, but we know Nick Saban, he's got that knack about him where it's just like, hey, we're just stacking talent, so it's next man up mentality. And a lot of times that works out pretty well for him. So hopefully Sark and company are coming prepared and ready to play some football, dude. I'm excited.
I want to see
Last
some
year's
real
game was great.
matchups.
Yeah, we're ready. So if y'all made it this far in the video, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Make sure y'all are leaving a comment down below. The spread is 7. We didn't even talk about that, which is interesting because that means home field advantage is usually about a field goal. Neutral site, this game would be about 4, and in Austin, Bama might be a 1.5 point favorite, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty interesting how at least the media and the sports betting is taking this game. It is tough. 7 is a tough line because if you make this if you make it 10.5, I'll take Texas. But at 7, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know as if I could pull the trigger on Texas.
the only thing keeping me from taking Texas is that it's at Alabama. That's my only thing. If it was, I would say if it was probably 10.5, maybe 9.5, I would probably take Texas for sure. I'm not sure because y'all's pass rush was not great last week. Like I said in the previous video, I don't know if that was just lack of, or not lack of, but if they were just playing younger guys that don't know the stunts as well and stuff like that. I really feel like if y'all just get in front of Jalen Milroe, he'll have a really bad day. And I think that y'all's offense will be able to move against these guys because it's week 2. They didn't play anybody week 1. They didn't see anything too special from Middle Tennessee State either. So I don't know. I got a feeling Xavier Worthy is going to burn Kool-Aid McKinstry at least twice.
I hope so. And if they double cover him, then I hope A.D. Mitchell, Isaiah Nayor, Jordan Whittington, Jatavion Sanders, I hope one of those guys are there waiting for that ball.
Somebody's bound to be open.
Yeah, our pass rush, interesting enough, I don't feel like our pass rush was the issue, kind of like last year, because last year we led the country, or we were like second or third. Yeah, it's like we're getting in the backfield, but we're also letting them step up and throw it or roll out and throw it away. We're just not getting the quarterback on the ground.
It's so frustrating.
And you're so close but so far away. So we'll have a post game show early next week, celebrating this win. So now make sure y'all are subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss that episode. With that being said, appreciate y'all rock with us. Until next time. Okay.